My hair has gotten long enough that I sometimes, if I don't feel like putting chemicals in it to control it, I can put it in a little ponytail.
Oh yeah,
back here.
You get a man bun going.
I don't
You
know.
look good with a man bun.
Honestly, I see the convenience of them.
Yeah. Cool. You should keep growing it out. I'd like to see long hair, Aaron.
I am growing it out.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, a bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode breakdown of the original G1 series. This is episode number 203 of ours, and today we'll be reviewing episode number 89, Grimlock'S New Brain. And this is your host, Aaron, and with me are...
I'm Ryan.
And I am Caleb.
And we're going to just have a good old time... breaking down this classic episode. You got Grimlock.
You got his brain.
You got a brain in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But he don't talk good like we do.
Damn it, I had that in here.
Oh, shit. I beat you to the punch.
What's going on in your all's lives?
I was thinking about discussing this on the podcast. I didn't know if I was going to or not, but
Here we are.
I did something last week that I've come close to doing many times, and it finally happened. I
Threesome?
Killed a sex worker.
no, I
Both sexual. High five.
Yay.
usually when I get up in the morning and I drink my coffee and I take my son and his two friends.
I thought you were going to say a shit.
I take my son and his two friends to school, and I'm pretty regular. And usually when I get to the office and my home office, and I take a shit.
Ah.
Yeah. I dropped them off, and it hit me hard. And for the first time ever, I completely shit my pants.
First time ever.
I mean, there's been a little tiny accidents here and there, since I was a kid, but
Holy
I
Toledo.
full on driving down the highway, and I was like,
no.
I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, and then I just full on like put
Filled your shorts.
a load in my pants
Jesus
while I was
Christ.
driving down the highway. I almost hit a car trying to turn into like. I decided to. I was like, my house was closer than my other office, and so I was like, all right, I'm going to try to do this, and then. And then it just started happening. And
It's happening.
And then I remember just saying to myself out loud, like, "Oh my God!" I pooped my pants while I was driving down the road.
At least you'd got the boys dropped off.
Oh yeah, thank God.
Oh, no.
But yeah, it does raise the question, like, what if that would have happened, like in any other certain scenarios, like. I don't know.
On a plane.
With steaks.
Yeah. With meat steaks.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
With steaks. The stakes were low here. So yeah, that happened.
So you went home and I guess just
cleaned myself up. Yes. I just
took a shower.
no. I decided just to dwell in it all day long.
Just deal with it.
Yeah, I crapped my pants.
Wow.
I've shit myself at work before.
Yeah.
Not full on filled my jockeys, but I have like enough to where I had to throw those boxers out.
Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't wearing boxers. I'm glad I had briefs on to it captured everything.
I mean, how much are we talking?
Like
a full turd, or was
Yeah.
it liquidy?
Nope. Thankfully, everything was
Oh God, gross.
solid, and yeah, I pooped in my pants driving down the road.
Yeah. That hasn't happened to me since high school.
That happened to you?
I don't know if I told that story on air, but yeah.
I remember this.
Ryan and I were in TV video production class, I think our senior year of high school.
Go home.
And it was the first class of the day. Just, I thought I was farting. I gave a little toot, and I realized pretty quickly that it was more than a toot.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ryan, I got to borrow your car. And I drove his car home, which was very close to the high school. Luckily, I showered off, changed real quick, and went back. And that teacher was not
in
present.
the classroom
So,
ever.
yeah, it wasn't even like a thing. I didn't have to. I just left and came back, and nobody knew. But I did have a situation not that long ago where it was kind of an emergency, and I work in my house as well, and I was running upstairs to use the restroom. I felt it coming. And
Do you have a restroom downstairs?
I know. I think maybe I was already upstairs. I don't remember, but I felt it came on quickly and fast and hard, and I'm like scooting to the bathroom. I felt it starting to come out as I dropped everything and sat down, and I was like, oh, good, that was close. And I finished my business, and right before I pulled up my pants, I saw in my underwear that the turd had just kissed my briefs, and I did not. I did not change underwear. I just did a little dab, and I put it back on.
Well, I mean, everyone's sharded in their lives, but this was not a kiss.
Oh no!
This was
I have
This is a makeout session.
two things with this one. Well, actually three. One, when I first visited your house in St. Louis, Caleb, I didn't realize you had a toilet downstairs, and Aaron was in the bathroom upstairs. And Aaron takes about 45 minutes in the bathroom. So I went down to your basement. I think I pooped in a bag or something and threw it out.
I think you told me
I've
about
had
that.
to do that here before because I didn't want to bother West because she takes long time in the bathroom as well. And I didn't want to. So I took a grocery bag and pooped in there. And then one time a couple of months ago, I feed the dog at like 4 a.m, and I'm naked. And she was out on the back deck doing her business, and I was like, oh, I have to fart, and I shit on the floor. Not a lot, but a little bit. It was like liquid.
Oh, well,
This is a good one. This is a good episode.
I opened that door.
Yeah. Well, that's
Listeners, what are your shit stories?
What'd you do this week, guys?
Well, if you'd love to hear more shit stories and maybe even pay for the pleasure, you could join our Patreon. Just as so many of our favorite people have done, such as Alpha Magnus, Debbie, Jeremy Skeeter, Mr. Sadler, Mike Seibert, Bono, Michael Tremblett, Old School Justin, Jonathan, Robinus Prime, Classic Daniel V, Safubi Samurai, Chandler, Jay Soups, Maddie V, Nick the Toy Mad Dad, Ken Bockelman,
Big
DFB, Greg Murray, Captain Alexis, Corey, James and Julia, Michael Ordway, Tim Dubbs, Jason from Cracktastic Plastic, Thomas, New School Justin, Triclops, Alex, Simon, Squid King, New Daniel, Seven the Chronicler, Argonus Prime, and Brian Jones, who we may talk about here in a little bit. If you are interested, check out patreon.com/APODcast and see the benefits and toss a couple shekels this way. It really helps us keep up on the production value, helps us produce the booty boxes that come right back to you at the $5 level and beyond. Thank you, everybody. Maybe it's a perfect time to, speaking of Brian, have you got a little something that'll help enhance our neurological function, Ryan?
I do. I'll get it.
Hey, Aaron.
Oh, sorry, I just got back from the bathroom.
Aaron.
Yeah.
I just pooped my pants in the bar.
Oh, fuck. What are we going to do about this?
Well, I don't want to leave because I just bought this drink. Oh, man, this is
I'll drink
weird.
it for you. Hey,
No,
go take care of yourself.
No, I'm going to
Ow,
drink
you
this.
slapped my
I'm
hand.
going to drink this. Hope no one smells it.
I don't smell it yet.
Oh,
I think
good.
you're safe. I mean, was it a full-on turd or just a kiss?
I'm afraid to move.
Oh, Jesus.
No,
Just squishing about between your buttocks.
I suppose.
Oh, hey. Well, here comes a... Oh, my gosh.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm fine. Can I get you guys anything to drink?
I'm fine, thank you.
What? Why are you sitting like that? Do you need a new chair,
No,
sir?
I'm fine. Just
Let me bring
no,
you.
don't
I can
move.
tell
Don't
you're
move me.
uncomfortable.
Stop. No,
No, I'm. Back up.
no, I'm not moving anywhere.
Just sit
I'm
here.
good. Leave me alone. Everything's fine.
Sir.
I pooped my pants. Aaron, I got to get out of here. I'll be back later.
Well, this is weird. I'm just, 2 hours, busy night at the bar. As per the name of the soundtrack to this YouTube video. Let's talk about poop and how it manifests, right? You eat fiber, other products, your body chemically converts it, absorbing the nutrients and then you got poop. Right? Right? My dog eats cat poop. Goes right into the litter box area and just munches it up, and I can always tell when she's been doing it because she has the crumbs of cat litter on her face.
I'm back. Man.
Yeah.
So what did I miss?
Well, the barkeep has just delivered us these amazing lime green concoctions. It looks like an ecto cooler. Ryan, what do we got?
I'm glad you asked. We have a Patreon Buy Us a Drink here. Our most prolific cocktail contributor, Brian Jones, has a holiday-based cocktail, though it's a little late because of, like our last episode, Emmy had already called that shot. So this is a late Cinco de Mayo drink. I find it interesting that Cinco de Mayo seems as popular in the U.S. as it is Mexico, but mostly here I think we just get drunk.
We like an excuse to wear sombreros and drink.
Yeah, I mean, we need to talk to you about that.
Yeah. Offline, please.
Apparently, the popularity here is due largely to beer companies marketing it in the 1980s, which I found interesting. Everybody,
So it's kind of like Valentine's Day, except they didn't completely invent the holiday
yeah,
for you to stock up.
yeah,
All
sure,
right.
whatever you want.
All right, that's what I
Everybody
want.
probably knows this, but it's not actually a celebration of Mexican Independence Day. It commemorates the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla in 1862. Mexican Independence Day is actually September 16th. All right, on with the cocktail. This is the El Verde, which means the Verde. So
Your
Brian,
Spanish is impeccable.
the Verde. So Brian Jones's cocktail here is 12 ounces or 1 can of Mountain Dew or store brand equivalent, 2 ounces or 60 mils of tequila, and 1 tablespoon, which is about a half ounce or 15 mils of lime juice. Stir for about 30 seconds, and that's it. That's the drink.
I can see from looking over here that you used actual Mountain Dew, not a knockoff.
I did.
No Kentucky Lightning here.
Yeah, it's tax deductible.
Only the best for the Autopod Decepticast LLC. Ding.
I haven't tried this one yet.
Oh, going in blind, are we?
I do usually go in blind on the Buy Us a Drink ones. Whoa.
Mountain Dew forward,
Really? All I'm getting is tequila.
tequila back.
Yeah, I got the tequila right off the nose there, but I got the Mountain Dew in there too. Yeah, the tequila's really hanging around. Interestingly,
I don't hate this.
Yeah, is it refreshing?
it is refreshing.
I think you could salt a rim and put a lime on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it.
No feedback for Brian?
It's no, I mean, it is very much kind of like it's just a sideways margarita.
Yeah, it's just effervescent.
Yeah.
It's green.
It's green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Margarita
2 weeks late. So thank you, Brian Jones, for buying us a drink. And if you'd like to buy us a drink, you can send us $5 on PayPal to @APODcast. Tell me in the notes what you would like me to make, and I will make it on the show.
I never realized how much Mountain Dew just tastes like margarita mixer, or how much margarita mixer tastes like Mountain Dew.
Well, some of us don't know what margarita mix tastes like because we make our own.
Oh, look at this guy with the fresh limes and the Cointreau.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
I guess we're not going to hear that theme song.
No, do it at the most inopportune time. Last episode recap. Well, we all know what happened. Robots became humans, then robots again. Also, Cobra Commander was there.
Mm-hmm. He's got to catch us off guard.
So let's amp up our IQs with Grimlock'S New Brain, animated by ACOM and written by Paul Davids.
Yep. This one is not very good animation because it's just ACOM.
Yeah.
They didn't have that unnamed studio to fall back on.
Right. Well, things open up on Cybertron. You've got Magnus, Rodimus, Perceptor. It's just another day, another power generator.
It really... And also, what is with this music? It's like as if the Transformers theme was played
I've never heard it before.
by the band from Mos Eisley Cantina. It's bizarre.
Here, I'll capture it.
I like it.
Today marks a momentous occasion. In a few
It's weird.
Kind of heavy.
I'd like to hear a Transformers-esque rockabilly song.
Oh, God.
Like in the style of Johnny Cash, but with some of this techno synth
Wow,
sound.
what would that even be?
I don't know, but the sort of chugging rhythm to it made
Well,
me
it'd be
feel
like,
a,
one more song that's been ruined by bluegrass. Like bluegrass covers everything.
oh my God. I hate that fucking trend. Luckily, that trend has sort of died down, but
Yeah. Not too far away from rockabilly, but
Yeah.
same kind of deal.
yeah. You're right. Don't do it. Let's not make it happen. You know, this power generator, it's opening day.
They really do. The Autobots have a lot of problems with power generators.
They do. It's going to power Cybertron forever.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah.
I feel like
Flip
we've
the
seen
switch,
this
Grimlock.
before.
Grimlock is up in the control room, and he fucks up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He is just like, duh, which switch? And guys, I hate to be ableist, but
Yeah,
but his intellect processor runs at about 0 megahertz. No clock speed on that one.
Shame on them.
That is really, at least for this sequence, that is true. He flips a couple of switches. Some of them catch on fire. Which,
For some
that
reason.
seems like a failure of engineering on, I believe, Perceptor. Rodimus runs up and the stairs, gets to the control room to help him, and finally they pull the right switch and power starts. And Perceptor muses that he wishes the Dinobots had more sophisticated brains, but you know, Grimlock, he knows how to bash brains, and maybe he bash yours.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Caleb, where you are going, why would you put Grimlock in that position to begin with? There are several Autobots of average intelligence that you could draw from to flip a switch.
To my way of thinking, I think Rodimus, because of his time as Hot Rod, just likes the Dinobots.
Yeah, but you gotta know what they're good at.
Yeah, just because he likes
Not
them,
this.
just because he likes them doesn't mean you should put
Empower them to.
Well,
Fail.
what is he, a president?
him in a,
I also really liked Grimlock's pretty forward threat at Perceptor. Like, I'll fuck you up, bitch.
Yeah.
Grimlock is only in dinosaur mode this whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
To me, I'm like, the further along they go, they're just like, let's just leave him in
Yeah.
dinosaur mode.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. Look at that thing.
Choo choo! Fucking
Cogs.
gears.
Yeah.
Energy forever, but it looks like it pollutes pretty heavily.
Yeah. The Autobots kind of fail at this a lot, don't they?
Well, by the end of the episode, they've got it working again. So everybody's,
Did they finally solve the energy problem then?
I think so.
Until next week.
Next up, we have a classic pair of goons teamed up for our absolute pleasure. It's Skuxoid and Slizardo. These, I don't know what I wrote here. Low oves. I don't even know where I was going with this. Here it is. Good timing.
Reach inside your wallet now and buy us a drink.
Good. Successful. I had completely forgotten about it.
Speaking of drink, they've got some purple stuff.
Yeah, I don't. It is interesting. Slizardo really seems to have come down in the world.
Yeah. Last time we saw him, he was hanging out with DevCon. I felt like DevCon was going to turn things around for Slizzy.
But they had a falling out, I guess, and now he's with some random Skuxoid.
Yeah. So they've snuck into...
Why don't the Skuxoids have names?
Nah.
Anyway.
They've snuck into the power generator, and they have this purple liquid, and they're called anti-electrons, and they pour it into the device. This is a plan they've been hired by Galvatron to accomplish to, I guess, kill all the Autobots.
It's a weird plan.
I want that purple stuff.
Sonny D! Then we transition to Cosmos and Skylynx. They're running late for the ceremony. I don't know if I properly illustrated. It was a big ceremony with the power generator unveiling.
There were like 5 people there.
And Cosmos and Skylynx, they are lamenting about missing it. When Cosmos blows his engines and starts to lose control, Skylynx rushes in to save Cosmos, but he soon suffers the same fate. Perceptor from the ground identifies their troubles in space. Springer, Rodimus, Galvatron, and Perceptor rush to save them as they crash onto the Cybertronian surface. Springer goes chopper mode to lift them to a repair bay, but then a purple beam emits onto him, and he loses his ability to fly. The same beam falls on Blaster, and he kind of loses transformation control. Guys, what the fuck is happening?
This purple ray gives Transformer ED.
Erectile dysfunction?
That's erectile dysfunction to you and me.
All right.
Mostly me.
Don't understand how that applies at all.
I would call it
perform.
I would call it TD.
Yeah.
Transform dysfunction.
Yeah.
That's what he'd call it.
It also seems to make them sometimes stupid.
Yes.
This whole plot is ridiculous.
It's pretty dumb.
I don't understand what we're looking at on the viewfinder here.
Yeah. The Autobots investigate. Teletran 2 informs us the master power generator deep inside of Cybertron, separate, I guess, from the power generator that's on the surface.
They just look like they're in an elevator.
They do.
It just scrolls around.
They're on an amusement
on
park
Teletron
ride.
2, just it's scrolling through the sky.
Yeah. So the master power generator that's deep inside Cybertron has been sending unidentified force waves up the central shaft, which has caused the unit on the power platform Alpha to, I don't know, do that beam that's making everybody glitch. And you've got to fix this like yesterday, or you're going to have to abandon Cybertron or suffer a mass malfunction of all the Autobots. And Perceptor, at this point, says, you go fix it, and then I'll construct a crane to get Skylynx and Cosmos to a repair bay. And I kind of felt like those roles are reversed, buddy. Why don't you go fix it,
Now they're
Perceptor?
Yeah.
They're like, look at the scrolling. It's like, whoa.
Well, that's the screen, yeah.
It's showing all the stuff.
It looks like they're on a moving sidewalk, though.
Perceptor hands an electro map to Rodimus, but let's be real, it's a compass.
It's an analog, straight-up compass.
Yeah. Rodimus, Magnus, Cup, and Grimlock are on the hunt through the trippy maze of a million ancient Cybertronian tunnels. Luckily, they have the electro map, or they'd be lost forever. I should say, did have the electro map, because Grimlock just snags it from Rodimus, fiddles with it until it breaks, and then throws it off a cliff.
Yep. I feel like, I don't know that we need so many examples of him being an idiot. Like, maybe one or the other would be fine.
And, I was Team Grimlock during the first scene. Like, he just should have never been there. But here, I'm like, come on, man. Grimlock throws a tantrum at this point. You think I'm stupid, and you don't want me anymore, so he just leaves.
He wanders off.
Rodimus says to Cup, you go after Grimlock, Magnus and me, we're going to continue to search for the core. As Magnus and Rodimus get closer to the core, however, Rodimus himself starts to lose control of his transformational function and says, I gotta get out of here. I think there are some Easter eggs at this point, or maybe a little later, when I guess he actually turns into Hot Rod. I don't know if they're transformational glitches.
Yeah, it's either like
maybe it's not
It's
here.
either that or like he just doesn't. Yeah, he does turn into Hot Rod a couple of times because I'm like, he doesn't hook the trailer up, but he looks different as Rodimus too. So,
And I think they maybe even shortened him a little. I read that. I didn't see it when I watched. Grimlock actually finds the master power generator. Cup is following him and approaches him in the generator, and he starts to feel weird, which Grimlock recognizes. He's got to turn off this machine. He does some classic Grimlock tail smashes into the machine and bites into some wires, but he's then engulfed in a horrific electrified energy, and that's where we go to commercial.
this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Longtime listeners can attest that we talk about mental health a lot on this show. We've discussed the challenges of balancing our day jobs and podcasting commitments along with the responsibility of our personal lives. Such efforts can leave us feeling stretched pretty thin, burned out, and, even guilty if we aren't giving one aspect or another the attention we think it deserves. For me, for instance, I love doing this show. It's one of my favorite creative outlets, but it certainly doesn't mean that it's not stressful. And we believe that well-being is important and therapy is a great solution to find more balance in life. With BetterHelp, you can access a network of licensed, accredited, and experienced therapists who can find that balance you need, as well as working through a range of issues including depression, anxiety, which I have, and have talked about several steps I'm taking on that in lots of recent episodes on here. Relationship trauma, grief. There are just so many things. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/autopod today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/autopod. Now, back to the show.
Got nothing? What else is there to say?
I didn't make a ton of notes on this one.
Every 5 seconds, this is dumb.
Do you bring up flowers for Algernon later?
I don't.
I did like that reference.
Yeah.
Was Algernon the rat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did the guy eventually become dumb again?
Yeah.
Yes.
So did the rat? I don't know if it matters.
I don't know about that.
No, the rat was still a genius.
I like that.
He would later star in Ratatouille.
He's one of those Nim rats.
Mm-hmm.
We come back from commercial, and the generator is shut down, and the afflicted Autobots have returned to normal. Grimlock, however, is different. He now speak good English like we do.
He starts saying, I, Grimlock.
Grimlock.
In fact, he appears to even be smart. His voice is mellowed to a low, deep, calm tone, and his vocabulary is increased like 1,000,000%. Some people might say he has a Skyfire-esque presence about him, and maybe
I would say that later in my notes.
and maybe he has a touch of Skylink's arrogance about him as well.
He just bonked Cup in the head.
Rodimus is also feeling better. He and Magnus are still in trouble. The security systems have sent some pointy, smashy machines towards them. Grimlock senses the distress and turns off the security system while opening the door to the room. So they're all together now. This allows Magnus and Rodimus entry. And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on, Grimlock?
Mm-hmm.
But no time for that, because Ratbat has been spying on us for some reason.
He's just here now. I wrote that what the fuck is Ratbat doing here? But I do kind of like the continuation of the flying tapes just being wherever they want to be in an Autobot base.
Yeah. Two things. The Autobots don't seem to be good at managing their own security systems that they set up.
It sure didn't try to get Ratbat out of
And
there.
yeah, and it's overly elaborate and obviously doesn't work. And then they're lost in their own creation.
I assume it's ancient, though. And maybe
Well, they had to
it's been a while.
They had to connect that cable down into the core somewhere. You think they have that all figured out?
Yeah.
No, it just plugs into a jack in the wall.
There's I don't know, plug it in and see what happens.
It's like how the internet in your office works. You just put it in there. You don't know where it goes.
I don't. I really don't.
The internet's a series of tubes.
Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Call back to a
2006
GOP reference.
Yeah.
Rodimus we're back to the surface. Our team is traversing a bridgeway with, we see some fellow Dinobots wallowing in a pond looking for fish. They invite Grimlock to join, but he's too good for that. He's got to figure out why the generator and the power core have malfunctioned. So, later, bozos.
Excuse me. Nobody seems to ever address why Grimlock is intelligent now. It never comes up.
They never explain it.
They don't explain it. They don't even ask about it.
It just is.
They just let it happen. Like nobody even questions it.
The Autobots are just, God damn it, they're just.
I feel like
Fucking
somthing
morons.
physical would need to happen to Grimlock to and he'd need a better, whatever, chip processor.
Oh,
You can't just get shocked and be smart.
Well, but they don't even. Well, apart from that, they don't even say when he got shocked. It must.
Yeah,
have
they
increased
don't
his
say
intelligence. They
anything.
don't even like MacGuffin it. You know, they don't address it.
They
at
don't
all.
even give us a bullshit plot device.
right. Slizardo and Skuxoid, they meet up with Galvatron. Bitch better have my money. But fuck you guys, your mission has failed. The Autobots shut down the generator and the anti-electrons have dissolved. So now Galvatron needs a new source of electrons. And after threatening the boys, Slizardo comes up with a new source, which is inside Unicron's brain. Here we go.
Well,
Do it.
it really does call back to the movie here because Galvatron says to Ratbat, "Show them what you've discovered, Ratbat," and then Ratbat transforms and turns into a tape and injects himself into the console for video playback. I thought that was kind of called like Laserbeak at the beginning
Yeah.
of the movie. And I know that Galvatron is not the most reasonable person, but that wasn't the Skuxoid and Slizardo's fault at all.
Yeah, that was my note. I'd argue that the boys did do their job, and it wasn't within the scope of their duties to make sure the Autobots didn't, investigate what's wrong and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Galvatron, so you can't really, you can't take him to court or anything.
And they keep saying that the sabotage was with anti-electrons, which are real, but I don't think the writer knew that. I think he just made that up. Like, because anti-electrons are positrons, which we actually do use. When electrons and anti-electrons encounter each other, they annihilate each other. Like PET scanners in hospitals use positrons to create 3D images. So they're a real thing, but I don't think the writer knew that.
Thanks for bringing it to the real world, Ryan.
Yeah. Really looking for stuff on this episode.
Didn't have much. Grimlock is outshining even Perceptor's mental abilities by discovering that anti-electrons were the source of the generator's malfunction. Meanwhile, Galvatron and his cronies, they're in the Revenge, speaking of a TFTM callback, and approaching Unicron.
At that part, Perceptor, Grimlock says that they're anti-electrons. Perceptor says, "Why didn't I think of that?" And Grimlock says, "Perhaps because your mental abilities are so limited," which I thought was nice because Perceptor called him an idiot earlier.
Right. I didn't catch up on that little flip.
Yeah.
That was nice. Galvatron has a strange group of new allies with his typical crew of Cyclonus and the Sweeps, and it is the Terrorcons.
Pretty inauspicious introduction.
Yeah, who needs to know who
origin
these
story.
things are? He commands them to unseal the Cerebro Chamber.
I like he's banging on that with a big mallet.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Dinobots approach Grimlock, but he's busy constructing a new Autobot shuttle with a mallet and requests that the other three help him, but they want to go hunting. In fact, the other Dinobots don't really care for this new Grimlock at all, so they ditch him to go do their own thing.
You've changed.
Where's Swoop?
Yeah, Swoop's not in this.
Look at that butterfly.
He's changed. You can mark your bingo card with Mr. Show for that one.
Grimlock is on the ship with Cup, Rodimus, and Perceptor. He deduced the source of the anti-electrons was from the explosion of Unicron and posits that the Decepticons are likely en route to Unicron to harvest more of the savage substance. Can they get to Unicron before the Decepticons?
No.
Yes, indeed. The Decepticons have already attained the anti-electrons and have created a cannon to focus its vicious energy. They blast at the Autobot ship, which ends up crashing into the side of Unicron's face. The Autobots survive, but they're now mentally and physically debilitated. The Terrorcons attack, and they just kind of viciously maul the Autobots.
Mm-hmm.
But Grimlock is distracted, and he walks off. Where you going, buddy? We need you.
We need your help.
And that's when we go to
He's
commercial.
got a better idea. I have the Terrorcons. I have Abominus, and maybe another character we'll see in a little bit I bought as well. Abominus and the Technobots were always I was really obsessed with them as a kid, and now I own them.
Do you think the additional damage that we see on here on Unicron's head is based on when Starscream's ghost
Totally.
head blew off the planet?
The TF Wiki actually notes that Unicron's head is no longer in the orbit of Cybertron. So yes, you're
Interesting.
indeed I think that
So it's even
explosion
more
did
fucked
more.
up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they're at least trying to.
It's not just bad animation.
Continuous. Are you my father? In a way. You see, Grimlock has found some scraps and equipment and has created a new Autobot named Nosecone.
Mm-hmm.
Grimlock requests this drill boy bore him a path to Unicron's brain.
This would make Ratchet and Wheeljack the Technobot's grandfather.
Oh, I like that. Dad?
He'd rather you think of him as another Autobot than his father, because now he doesn't want to pay child support.
Just a deadbeat dad. Cyclonus and Scourge wander around Unicron's mind, which has some kind of sciencey lab inside of it, and it's distilling pure anti-electrons. They tap the keg, but it ends up awakening Unicron, who activates his defenses, firing upon Cyclonus and Scourge, but also, in a separate chamber, firing upon Grimlock and his new creations.
Mm-hmm.
He commands one of them, Strafe, to disarm Unicron, which he does. Meanwhile, outside, the Autobots continue to toil with the Terrorcons. I do love the concept that Unicron is not dead and just continues to float in space, semi-conscious, but relatively helpless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't remember how many times they went back to Unicron's head, and it's
Pretty often.
yeah, quite a bit.
At least 3 or 4 at this point. Grimlock's new team is complete. He, Grimlock, dubs them the Technobots. We get the obligatory introductions.
Roll call.
And meet Strafe, Afterburner, Lightspeed, the aforementioned Nosecone, and the leader of the team, Scattershot.
Or yeah, Scattershot, not Silverbolt. Is this the part where Cup says... oh, yeah. Cup says to Sinner Twin, I fought bigger monsters than you, which I think is a reference to Chaos, because it's the same writer who did that episode, too.
Again, for ACOM, a lot of the shots are better animated than typical. Overall, I feel like they're getting a little better season 3. Nowhere close to... I don't have any backup on this, but...
Grimlock doesn't look very good.
Well, not where I just paused it, no. After positioning Scattershot as the leader, Scattershot says, I thought you were our leader, Grimlock. But somewhat somberly, Grimlock replies, no, Scattershot. I won't be of much use to you, or I won't be of use to you much longer.
Mm-hmm.
You can survive without me. You can and you will. Grimlock sends the techie boys to go help out the Autobots.
Yeah.
We're cruising right through this
We
episode.
really are, like, burning through it. There's not a lot of meat to it.
I feel like it's an iconic episode, so it's...
I like the Technobots and I like the Terrorcons. It's just like, this is just a bad plot.
Their designs just aren't that interesting either.
That's true.
The little toys were pretty stupid. So were the Terracon. The Terracon toys were better.
Scattershot's a pretty cool toy.
The leaders are always all right, but the little arm guys...
I had Hunger as a kid. I didn't and Scattershot. I didn't have anybody else though.
Essentially, all the combiners after Devastator, with the exception of Predaking, all just had weak-ass limbs and one good torso.
Yeah.
We're back on the Unicronian surface, and Cyclonus brings a lemonade jug of anti-electrons to Galvatron, but before they can do anything with it, it's blasted by Scattershot, who also shows off his alt mode.
Yeah, his cannon mode.
If I remember correctly as a kid, you could flip that thing around and make a dick out of it, right?
Yeah.
Totally, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Come on.
I can make if it's
You'll make a
possible to
dick out of
make a
anything.
dick, I'm gonna.
the Terrorcons merge to their Gestalt mode, Abominus, which forces the Technobots to retreat. They consult with Grimlock, who tells them, you got this skill too, guys. Merge. And so that's when we get the opportunity to meet Computron, who has an infinite capacity for computation, but no intelligence to feed its capacity. And this is where Grimlock commands the giant to kneel, and he hooks his amazing brain to Computron's and selflessly passes his own intelligence to Computron, which returns Grimlock to his former dum-dum state.
I thought it was kind of touching whenever he
was.
said, "Me, Grimlock, can help you no more." And like, yeah, he basically gives. I hate the way Computron talks.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's a dumb gimmick. Computron now has the super intelligence needed to defeat Abominus. I did think it was a smart little battle where Computron meets Abominus on the battlefield. He's restrained by an unbreakable hold, but uses his intelligence to manifest a vibration that causes Abominus to disengage both the hold and its own individual parts. The other Decepticons attack Computron. Their laser blasts do nothing.
Yeah, the conceit is that Abominus is super strong but not bright, and then they had like Computron is the opposite, like he uses his intelligence to defeat him, which is kind of what you just said, but
Thanks for saying it in a different way.
yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Driving it home. The Decepticons retreat at this point, like they do. We end up back on Cybertron. Why don't I just fast forward?
You're like, just burn through this.
We are.
It's already over.
Hey, the Decepticons retreat for a change.
They finally know when it's done. We're back on Cybertron. Things are going pretty good.
pretty good.
With that weird engine going again.
Galvatron's been spanked. The generator's working. And we now have the Technobots thanks to Grimlock. Grimlock, where are you, fucker?
Fucker!
And we see Grimlock chilling in the pond with his dino pals, happily catching a motherfucking fish. I did not expect the fish to be organic.
No, it's just like because Sludge earlier ate a fish that looked mechanical, and that was just a straight up bass that must have been enormous. Also, there's
that's the end of
water
the
on
episode.
Cybertron now.
For them, maybe they just put it there for the dinosaurs.
That could be.
So here we have a classic, I guess it was a 20-minute episode.
It wasn't as short.
That's about right. But we're at the end. We've only been recording for 50 minutes.
I know. It's like that. Sorry, this just isn't a very. There's not a lot to pick apart on this episode.
This is probably the
just,
length that all of our episodes should be.
Should be.
I don't agree.
They're as long as they need to be. This one's not as long as normal.
I like longer. I like long ones
do.
in my listening. Like for other podcasts, I'm like, however long you want to do it, I'll listen.
Yeah.
So, being the end of the episode, a few fun details to speak on. Let me see. I did not attach a picture, but well, actually, yeah. Let's start with official.
All right.
Official toys. In March 2009, Takara released its masterpiece, Grimlock, and this version did come with the intelligence transfer helmet accessory. Here's a photo of said
I thought I
accessory.
remembered there was one like that, yeah.
Cool.
That helmet accessory was also included in the Super Collection PVC version of Grimlock and will also be included in the upcoming Super 7 non-transforming dino mode of Grimlock. It will also come with that fish, and it also comes with a gimmick, and I think the original Masterpiece came out with this too, but we didn't call it out during Five Faces of Darkness. The scene with the apron and the bow tie and the tray of hors d'oeuvres or drinks or whatever.
That wasn't Five Faces.
Are you sure?
That was no, because that was the one where they go into the depths of Cybertron with Daniel. Daniel and Grimlock are teamed up together.
There's another peace negotiation going on.
Mm-hmm. That was only like 10 episodes ago.
I love that.
You might not have been on that episode.
It makes me happy when these manufacturers pick up on those little details and bring them
Yeah,
alive.
you weren't, because that was the one where they go to the medieval land.
Yeah.
Madman's Paradise is that. Well, was that
Yeah, is that the one I fell asleep at?
That's the one you didn't watch. You watched the wrong episode.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you directly because
Ryan was very much on his own on that episode. It
Yeah.
was just me and him, and I hadn't watched it, and it was still a great episode.
It was an episode.
Madman's Paradise.
Great.
You're right.
It was a great episode.
I'm so good, you guys.
You carried it all. You carried that weight. No, I fell asleep that same day though. When Mike was.
Yep.
That was that was a day. No, that was a good.
Good job carrying it while I was out, everybody. From a third-party perspective, their recently released Legends Scale Grimlock by the company New Age is called Wymere, and it comes with a single delicious fish accessory. And I have that figure, and I saw the fish, and I was like, what the fuck is this all
What's with
about?
this fucking fish?
And now I know. This was a slog to get through from a new character's voice actor's perspective. We had a lot of new characters introduced, so we're going to do a power session here. We had Nosecone, voiced by David Workman, who only had 2 roles with Transformers, which is Nosecone and Sinner Twin. A relatively short IMDb page, but he did voice Woof on Where's Waldo and Hank on Johnny Bravo.
Where's Waldo had a cartoon?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
I didn't know that.
What the fuck's the point? What'd they do?
You try to find him.
Traveled around and did shit.
Ugh. I guess it's a no-brainer to have a cartoon. It was a very popular book series.
David Workman also played a TV announcer on Martin.
Oh.
Then we have Strafe, voiced by Steve Bulin. His first Transformers appearance. He will also voice Peacemaker, Searchlight, and Sure Shot in the future.
Cool.
A bit more robust IMDb entry, most notably 23 episodes on Creepy Crawlers, 13 episodes of Space Strikers, 21 episodes of Chucklewood Critters.
What?
I don't recall that one.
And 6 episodes as the titular Freeman in Crying Freeman.
Oh, my.
I haven't heard of any of these.
No, I don't
I gotta
recognize
see
those
what
names.
Chucklewood-
Chucklewood. What was it?
Creatures.
Chucklewood Critters.
Critters.
What the fuck?
Then we had Lightspeed, voiced by Danny Mann, who will also in the future voice Cloudraker, Freeway, and Spoil Sport. He was Dinosaur Neil on 10 episodes of The Tick. He was Ferdinand the Duck from the Babe franchise, Jay Gander Hooter, that can't be right, on Darkwing Duck. And he was on he did 104 episodes of Space Goofs.
Shit.
18 episodes of Bobby's World. His most recent work credits were voices in Sing 2. We have Afterburner, who was voiced by Jim Cummings. Different guys for all these,
Yeah.
mostly,
Well, that's cool.
I guess, for them.
What do you mean?
For me, it's a pain in the ass. He also did Ripper Snapper and voiced a Sharktacon in the Money is Everything episodes.
Coming up, I think, next.
He had several high-profile roles, including Dr. Robotnik in Sonic, Tasmanian Devil in many Looney Tunes episode. He voiced Darkwing Duck himself, voiced Cat from Cat Dog. He's voiced Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Pegleg Pete, along with a million other Disney projects. Why he was slumming it as Afterburner, Lord knows.
He was in the studio that day. Could you not find it, Caleb?
Oh, I found it. It's just weird. Look, it was from like the early 2000s, and it's just like these cartoony-looking woodland creatures.
Chucklewood Critters.
Yeah.
I love that name.
We've got Scattershot, voiced, and I thought that we'd covered Stephen Keener, but I guess we haven't. Stephen Keener voiced Scattershot. I have an affinity for him because I met him personally. I believe it was at TFCon Chicago in 2018, our first TFCon. In addition to Scattershot, he voices some late-era hitters such as Fortress Maximus, Hardhead, Hunger, Mindwipe, and Scorponok.
I didn't even remember Fortress Maximus being in the show.
He will be in
All
the
right.
season 4 3-episode thing. He narrated. Stephen narrated the documentary Caves, A Deeper Look at Our Earth in 1978. And aside from that, Transformers was his only voice work. He retired from acting shortly after the U.S. Transformers run, and then he started a construction company residing in southern Missouri.
Oh.
And he seemed like a super sweet guy. I think his wife was his handler, and he was just a nice dude. I got autographed and
Interesting.
picture with him, and he passed away in 2002.
Oh.
And then you've got Computron, Bert Kramer, Computron was his only voice in Transformers. He is a part of several live-action series, including 139 episodes as Alex Wheeler on the TV show Texas. He was on the OG 1960s Maverick, Mission Impossible, MASH, Kojak, $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, Rockford Files, Dynasty, Young and the Restless, Full House, and Matlock. And as far as I can tell, he lives. Only Stephen Keener is the only person who's passed away from this
Where
list.
did you meet Stephen Keener?
In the room where all the
You said
people
2002
were?
though.
No, 2022. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
That's
2022.
What threw me.
So yeah, we're bringing a lot of new people into the fold. Terrorcons. Thank God, actually, we've covered all these. Ripper Snapper was Jim Cummins, as we said earlier. Blot and Cutthroat were Tony St. James, who we've covered as Brawl, which that's a great voice right there. Sinner Twin is David Workman. Hunger, Stephen Keener. Abominus was Jim Gosa, who hosted a show called Jazz Chronicles on LA radio. He was a Shakespeare guy. Abominus was his only Transformers role, but he also held roles in The Man from U.N.C.L., High Plains Drifter, Starsky and Hutch, Hardcastle and McCormick, and MacGyver.
Sweet.
And just a note on some of the other knuckleheads. Skuxoid, we may remember. Corey Burton voices that race. Unicron was the always amazing Roger C. Carmel. And Slizardo, today as in the past, is unknown. One more quick note. We are dropping the curtain on Cosmos. This is his final episode.
Final.
Didn't need to be
showing.
in there. But
It's
I guess I'm
also-
glad he was.
I forgot to mention it at the time, but there's no clear indication at the time why Cosmos and Skylinks lose control. Like, they don't get hit by the beam. There's not even any sound effect or
Right.
anything that shows that
It
they're
just
affected.
happens.
Yeah, it just happens. A lot of that in this episode.
Broadside appears for the first time in his face-plated toy model. And if you have this, Ryan, I apologize. Voice actor Greg Berger has stated that while this was the most difficult episode for him to do, it required figuring out how an intelligent Grimlock would sound, and so it was one he enjoyed the most, as it shows him using his Skyfire voice for Grimlock's intelligent voice.
I really liked the move from me Grimlock to I Grimlock. I thought that was
Very
actually
silly. iRobot.
I think that was a pretty cool wink and nod to iRobot.
It was subtle and it was nice. So let's go to the real world.
In the real world.
Okay, you cunts. In the real world, Grimlock's New Brain aired November 14th, 1986. In the American Top 40, as this episode takes place one day after our last, Amanda by Boston is number one. So let's cover what
That takes me by surprise to hear that.
What?
Are you just being? You're just being.
It makes me realize just how great a song that is. Okay, Caleb
I don't
gets me.
understand.
Good, go ahead, Ryan.
So we're going to cover What Have You Done For Me Lately by
Janet,
Ms. Jackson.
if you're nasty.
That's right. This is from Janet Jackson's third studio album, Control. And Jackson co-wrote the song with producers Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yeah.
The lyrics were meant to illustrate Jackson's feelings about her recent divorce from James DeBarge, lead singer of DeBarge, in January of 1985. I didn't know this, but Janet's first two albums were fairly unsuccessful, and this was a management change erasing her pop ingenue image. For those who don't know, an ingenue means innocent or unsuccessful. Basically, Jam and Lewis put their foot down and demanded that Janet's father, manager Joe Jackson, let her record the studio in Minneapolis instead of L.A. because Joe wanted to keep her in L.A. to record so he could keep like an eye on her and keep her under his thumb. The song peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and received a Grammy nomination for Best Rhythm and Blues Song at the 1987 Grammy Awards.
She inducted them into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
cool.
this past year.
DeBarge?
No.
Jimmy Jam
Jimmy
and Terry
Jam and
Lewis.
Terry
Yeah, and they I've listened to the making of that album, and they were really good about giving her time to just hang out in Minneapolis and kind of run around with her a little bit.
I think we talked about this before
Yeah,
for some reason.
and they got her to kind of allow her to tell some stories, get to know her, and her things that she was going through, and then take that content and turn it into songs.
Mm-hmm.
and it's an awesome album.
Yeah, it's great. I love that whole. I celebrate her whole catalog,
Mhm.
but I like that. I like that album in
That
particular. I
album's-
had it on tape.
Yeah.
Oh, number one at the box office.
Let me guess. It's Crocodile Dundee.
Well, yes. I can't remember why. What did we bring up before that was Don Bluth related? Something.
Lord of the Rings.
No. I don't remember.
Is
But
Don Bluth an animator?
yeah.
Didn't he do Lord of the Rings?
I don't.
Wizards.
I don't know.
All right.
But he did do American Tail.
That's
Which-
different. Never mind. I'm confusing him with another animator.
You're thinking of Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah, I am.
1986, An American Tail. This is an animated musical adventure film by Don Bluth. It illustrates Jewish immigration from the old country, particularly Russia, to America in the late 19th century. In 1885 Russia, the Mouskowitzes, a Russian Jewish family of mice, are ousted from their home when the Cossacks come through during a pogrom, and the mice board a tramp steamer to America, a land where they believe there are no cats and the streets are made of cheese. Fievel is our young hero of the story. He gets separated from his family and spends the movie trying to find them in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go into all...
Papa?
Somewhere out there.
I saw that in the theater, and I cried.
It's very
It
touching.
was awesome.
I can't go into all of it here, but the story about the break between former Disney animator Don Bluth and the creation of his own studio, fighting for and often outpacing Disney in the 80s before the Disney Renaissance in the late 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s, are fascinating stories. And if you have any interest in animation or film, I highly recommend checking out the backstory on all of that.
Give me a headline.
I just did.
Okay. I learned no information other than it's interesting, but please
Don
proceed.
Bluth was a former Disney
I guess
animator,
that's-
and he
okay,
made his
got
own
it, got it,
studio
got it.
and
All
was
right, good.
outpacing
Fair
Disney in the 80s before Disney animated Renaissance.
I wanted more of the tea, the drama.
He quit Disney to do his own thing.
And he said, "Fuck you" on the way out.
Don Bluth had a very specific style. Like, okay, you know the game Dungeons and Dragons?
Mhm.
That's him. That's his. And he did.
What, like
what's-
Aristocats?
No, that's Disney.
I know, but I'm trying
What
to
would
think
be a
like-
Disney
I'm trying to
movie
think of
that
a Disney animated film that
Yeah.
looks like looks Don Bluthish, and it seems like a lot of the. And
I think
have
he'd
the-
already
Aristocrats was too mid-century.
He'd already separated from
No, it
Disney
could
at
be
that
it.
point.
Aristocats could be. Sure.
I think he'd already left Disney by that point.
Maybe. Oh, probably the Dark Cauldron. No, that's not him. That's a Don Bluth movie, I think.
Yes.
The other one that's sort of a dark, mousy.
Are you thinking of
movie.
Nim?
No,
Because that's Don
no.
Bluth
This
as
is
well.
definitely a Disney movie.
The
go
Great
on.
Mouse Detective, I think, is Don Bluth, which I think outdid the rest, or was it? No, The Rescuers. Fuck.
The Rescuers could be in that camp as well.
The film had development issues due to relatively low budget and delays, and thus is kind of jumbled because scenes had to be cut down or eliminated, which would have made the film more coherent. It still received generally favorable reviews and grossed $84 million on a $9 million budget. At the time of the release, it was the highest-grossing animated feature for an initial release and the highest non-Disney produced animated feature. And it's fun, and Don Bluth is great.
All right, so
I was thinking of the Black Cauldron for the record.
Here's stuff that Bluth worked on while at Disney. Some examples being The Sword and the Stone, Robin Hood, The Rescuers, and Pete's Dragon, and they all have those.
They have that classic
Dragon,
that
Bluth
feel.
style.
They
I
have
could
that
see that.
feel. Yeah. He did Secret of Nim, which I love. Secret of Nim.
It's great and terrifying.
Yeah.
All dogs go to heaven.
Yes.
Yep.
Land Before Time.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was fucking killing it.
Yeah.
He had some great stuff.
That's it. That's the real world.
Thanks, Ryan.
Sorry to interrupt that 8 times over.
No, it's fine. People. I'm glad we discussed Don Bluth at length.
I think he's still alive.
While Caleb researches that, how about
Rip Deviations.
He is alive, and he is 85.
85 alive. Script deviations. There are no more scripts I can find online until the end of the series, The Return of Optimus Prime. So let's... Script deviations. You said that about Greg Berger. Paul Jeffrey Davids wrote this episode, as well as 2 other good ones, Cosmic Rust and Chaos, and one fucking abysmal episode, Thief in the Night, which is the Carbomia one. We've talked about him before, obviously, but Davids is also a producer, director, and UFO enthusiast, and wrote and produced Roswell, a film about the 1947 Roswell, New Mexico UFO incident, which some people think should be called the Corona incident, because it technically happened closer to Corona, New Mexico than Roswell. But UFO enthusiasts are just insufferable in that way, because Corona has a population of like 130 people, and so no doy, they picked Roswell to identify the crash. I'd like to go to Roswell sometime. They really lean into that UFO stuff there.
I'm sure.
That's script deviation.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Well, how did you guys feel about this one? How do you rate that scheme?
I mean, I like the concept.
Scheme is fucking ridiculous.
I like the idea of having Grimlock be smart.
I do too. The way they got there is
the execution's
stupid as hell.
There's just some, it just makes me really annoyed. This episode just makes me really annoyed at the Autobots more than normal.
They let Grimlock in the control room.
It kind of fell.
And
it all kind of falls flat.
That's the thing, is I like all the elements of it. I like Grimlock being smart. I like Computron. I like Abominus. But the the wraparound of the story, I dislike intensely.
Well, you get no introduction on the Terrorcons, so you missed an opportunity there. Not even no backstory, no introduction,
not at all
whatsoever. They're just dudes.
I don't even think they say any of their names.
No. Yeah, it'd be nice to understand why Grimlock got smart. Maybe you can harness that for all, perhaps, if you so desire. It's
David's
all around
really
that.
is at a 50-50 success rate for me.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, okay, we can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic movement.
You know, is it just Grimlock doing smart shit?
I wrote that I just love Computron for some reason. I can't really say why, except that I thought it was a cool toy. I don't know.
I think to distill it into a moment, that transfer of
the intelligence.
knowledge. That's
when
good.
he has
I wrote that too.
when he has the helmet on and Computron kneels down to receive the transfer is a pretty cool moment for
And
me.
it's sweet how loyal they are to Grimlock, and he's loyal back, but has a sense of his own. Like the timeline that he's on, and that he knows in his future he's going to be reverting back to.
I won't
It's
be
a
able
little
to help
teary-eyed.
you much longer.
The acting is great.
Yeah. Just only the material were better. Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
Marissa Fairborn and the Technobots are drawn into a Quintesson deal where they meet Dirk Manus.
I think this is the one that Alexis tweeted about to us recently. Or not recently, it's been a couple months ago, but...
Yeah. I just lifted that right off TF Wiki.
Shh, don't tell him.
I don't normally do that. I normally write my own material, but I didn't prepare anything. Well, hey, that's it. We're done. If you'd like to help support the show, we invite
This
you
was
to
a fast one.
check out our Patreon page, which has several levels of support that come with a wide variety of benefits. We've got the booty box for the $5 level, and it's I've said it before, I'll say it again, the best merchandise in the game.
It is. It really
Be
is.
proud, gentlemen. You can check that out at patreon.com/APODcast, or you could buy merchandise independently of being on Patreon.
Our store.
At autopoddecepticast.com/store. Finally, buy us a drink for $5 at Auto PayPal.
APODcast on PayPal.
On PayPal. Thanks.
Yep.
If you don't want to give us money,
You don't have to.
you don't have to
You're not
fucking
under
do
any
that.
obligation.
Yeah, of course not. But you know what would be nice? Some stars on that there.
How many?
Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play. Give us a review. Give us some feedback.
YouTube.
Say nice things about us
We're
in
at-
public.
Yep, all of our stuff. By this point, all of our episodes will probably be on YouTube.
Yeah.
If that's the way you choose to consume your podcast.
Like and subscribe.
Do we have any downvotes or
Yes.
whatever you call it on YouTube?
Yes, I don't know why. Somebody downvoted just a random one, and I'm like, maybe it's because they thought it was a moving image.
Oh, they didn't provide any feedback, huh?
No.
Maybe they thought we were the competition. But no, because we don't pay attention to the competition.
Yeah.
Sorry. Reference that doesn't actually have anything to do with us, but still makes me mad. You can party with us virtually on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all of them at APDC. And like we said before, you can also chat at the Discord as a patron at
Great
Patreon.
Discord. We got a great community on there.
Join us at patreon.com/APODcast. We'll hook you up with a link into the Discord and
Stuff
show
going
notes,
on there.
fancy follow-up materials at autopoddecepticast.com. We're done. Bye.
Oh, that pooped my pants.
Bye. I, Grimlock, say goodbye.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes.